For those of us who are like myself and have no idea about Google Ads whatsoever, can you give us a bit of an overview as to what it even means? Yeah, what's the starting point? What is it?
Yeah, sure. Well, okay. So even if you've never heard the term Google Ads, or actually the other thing that is an extra point of confusion, it used to be called Google AdWords until 2 or 3 years ago. Google rebranded it, but it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. So Google Ads, you'll have seen them even if you've never used them, because whenever you search for anything on Google, or pretty much anything, there'll be up to 4 adverts appear at the top of the search results, and potentially another 3 at the bottom of the page as well. Yeah. And those ads are there because the advertisers have said to Google that they've given Google a list of keywords, like search terms, basically. Yeah. I said, if someone types in one of these things, I want my advert to appear. And the advertisers write their own adverts within, the parameters that Google allows. And what makes it different from most traditional forms of advertising is it's a form of advertising called pay per click, or PPC. Okay? Yeah. I'd say that slowly, because sometimes if I say it quickly, people think I'm selling paper clips and not the stationery game. But it's pay per click, and it's called that because the advertisers don't pay for their advert to appear. They only pay if someone clicks on their ad and goes through to their website. So from that point of view, it's in many ways much lower risk than if you put an advert in the newspaper, or a massive billboard at the station or whatever. Yeah. That's going to cost you, even if no one looks at it and no one responds to it. Whereas with any form of pay-per-click advertising, you've removed some of that risk, because if your advert is of no interest to anyone, or you're selling a product nobody wants, you've wasted your time but not your money.
Ah, that makes more sense then. So I guess it's a lot more specific, because you can target and aim like the demographics and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean the primary targeting is by the keyword. So if you're selling I don't know, blue apples, then your keyword will be blue apples, and your ad would appear if someone typed that in. But you can also layer that with demographic type targeting. So you could say, for example, I'm willing to pay more for the clicks if it's if the searcher is a woman in their 60s. Or is someone who lives in London rather than Birmingham. And obviously, that will vary depending on what it is that you're promoting.
That makes sense.
And on the subject of actually what you're willing to pay, it runs on an auction basis.
Okay.
So each advertiser says what the maximum is that they're willing to pay for each click, and then that is one of the factors that Google uses to decide which ads appear and in which order. And then if yours is the ad that is clicked, the amount you actually pay is just enough to beat the next person in the auction. So it's a bit like if you're bidding something on eBay, if you bid £20 for something on eBay and yours ends up being the highest bid, but the next person was bidding £15, then you'll actually pay £15.10 or whatever. And it's the same. It's the same kind of principle. So you specify the maximum you'll pay, but you'll very often pay a bit less per click than that, depending on who else is in the auction.
So is there kind of like an ideal amount that you sort of spend on each ad, or is it, what's the lowest amount that someone can
it varies because like any auction, the more people there are bidding on a particular term, the more that pushes the price up. And of course it varies massively from from one keyword to another based on how much money there is to be made in that industry. So a keyword for something like injury claims compensation, where the lawyers can make lots and lots of money out of that, because they can make lots of money out of it, they'll bid quite high amounts. So you could be looking at 15, 20, 25 pound a click or whatever. Whereas if it's something far less competitive, you might get the clicks for 20, 30, 50p, something like that.
Oh, wow. So really quite varied then.
Yeah. And one of the secrets to, well, it's not really a secret, but one of the things to making it work well for your business is not to go after the really obvious keywords, because they'll have everyone bidding on them and have higher prices. But you need to try and find those less common keywords that all your competitors won't necessarily have thought of, because they'll get lower cost per click.